Hey, hello everyone. So, today we're talking about the mind and the age of the mind. The age of the mind. We are in the season and era where the mind is what controls everything, and there is an hunt. There is an hunt. There's a desire to capture our mind. So, my name still remains Okwe Hulua Uni. So, all you need to do is now is to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so today we'll be talking about the mind, and I've been doing this teaching. Talked about money, I've talked about family, I've talked about a whole lot of stuff. I'm going to be talking about the mind, and I'm going to be talking about it from the perspective of the scripture. Okay, so the age of the mind, and what does the Bible really has to do or has to say when it comes to the mind? How does the mind play a critical role in our success and in everything that we do? So, um, what does the Bible say about the mind? And Romans chapter 12, verse 2 says that we should not be conformed to the world. However, we should transform by renewing our mind. So the battleground, like it has been said, and anytime I'm talking about mind, this is always my own quotable quote. The battleground is the mind. If you lose the battle of life, of circumstances, of any situation in your mind, you have lost a whole lot. So the battleground is actually the mind. The mind is where we conceive things, because two things are actually created twice. They are first created in our mind, then the creation happens second time in reality. Okay, take an architect for instance. An architect interprets the dream of his clients. The dream is in the mind. He interprets it into the physical drawing and later builds to become something we can feel and touch. So the mind is actually the creative field. Everybody is creative. We are just creative in different things. Okay, a musician first get the thought of a song in the mind. The beats flows in the mind first. The lyrics flows in the mind first. The artist sees the picture of the painting in the mind first. The preacher preach the message in his mind first. Everybody always create first in their mind. So creation happens twice. The mind for the very first time, then the interpretation is what we usually see physically for the second time. So most of what we see in the physical are actually second creation, not necessarily the first creation. Okay, so we are in the age of the mind, and things are happening at the speed of thoughts, at the speed that is beyond human comprehension, and we all need to have that very understanding. Okay, this is a teaching, and Robert Collier says something very important, which I'm going to read the quote. He said, "We are in the atomic age, which is really the age of the mind, where the lowest person in the land can win a place side by side by the highest person. If your mind can conceive it, it's as good as done. No matter the time it takes, all that is needed is your mind to be able to conceive it." So, can your mind conceive it? Can your mind conceive it? Okay. So, everything and all the incredible events in the world were brought by God, but channel it through the human mind. Channel it through the human mind. So the human mind is where everything that we can see, okay, after creation, the next ground for creation was our mind. After God did all his own creation thing, he put the engine, the software, the architectural structure for creation, he put it in the human mind. So he told us, he said, go and multiply, go and expand, go and dominate. But you only expand, you only occupy, you only dominate first in the mind. So if you can't conceive it in your mind, it is almost impossible for you to be able to manifest it in the physical. Okay, so the mind is the battlefield. The mind is where creation starts. The mind is where we win or where we lose. The mind. The mind is very, very, very important. So we must, for a necessity, pay serious and detailed attention to the thoughts that come to our mind and what fuels the thoughts that comes to our mind. Okay, very, very important too. To master the mind, it means we have to control or take responsibility over what we place in our mind and how those things develop into reality. What feeds our mind and how those things develop into reality. So we need to pay attention to those things, okay? The mind is the field of creation. Okay, now that we have um, look at all of that, so we need to understand so what is now the creative force behind the mind? What makes the mind such a creative how will I put it, edifice that God has created? What gives it that power? So let's look at the scriptures, okay? So Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20 said, now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above what we ask, which is prayer or think. So if you believe that God answers prayer, also believe that whatever we conceive in our mind will become our reality. Also believe it. Whatever you conceive in your mind is also going to be your reality. Very, very important. So whatever you think in your mind can also, so we need to be very careful. The thoughts that flow through our mind, the thought that flows in our mind, the thought that flow from our mind is also very, very, very important. Okay. For Job 32, talking about Job, he talks about something in Job 32, verse 18 said, for I am full of war. The spirit within me compels me. Indeed, my belly is like wine that has no vent. It is ready to burst into a new white skin. He said, what? There's a spirit inside of me that is so full. And that's why the Bible talks about something. It said, out of the abundance of the mind, right? The abundance of the heart, the abundance of the mind, the mouth, those words speaks. So it is what you have meditated, what you have dwelled upon, what you have ruminated upon, that constitute what comes out of your mind. So if whatever if you have not meditated on a thing, you have not ruminated on a thing, right? It will not speak forth. And remember from Ephesians 20, he said, whatsoever you think, ask or think. So thinking, meditating, what is in our mind is as good as prayer. So every time we are praying about something, there must be a corresponding picture of whatever we are praying about in our mind. That's why vision boards are very, very important to feed our mind. The picture of what we want to see, the picture of what we want to see, so that it can give you the pictorial representation of what you are praying all about. Okay? So there's a creative sometimes force in us. Another word for creative force is a potential. Potential is derived from the word potent, right? Potent means power, untapped power. So there's an untapped power that is inside of us. There's an untapped treasure that is literally laying dormant, not moving, that is inside of us, that is waiting for us to what? To call man use. Okay? 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7 says that, but we have this treasure in earthen vessel, okay, that the excellence of power may be of God and not of us. So there's an earthen vessel. Okay, so let's quickly look at what are the things that can limit our potential. Number one of them is ignorance. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6 says that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Ignorance is one of the things that can actually limit our potential, that can make the power that is within us to remain in a dormant state and without us being able to utilize it. It's ignorance. So you need to seek knowledge about your mind, seek knowledge about how your mind works. Okay? Then feed your mind with the things that are going to take you to where you desire. A picture, the senses, the smell, everything around you, right? What you see, what you hear, very, very important. Then what you smell, what you envision, also very, very important. So one of the other things that limits our potential, creative potential inside of us is fear. Okay, like somebody said, that fear is, um, especially the fear of the unknown, is bringing a future anticipation into the reality right now. So that's basically somebody's definition of fear. Fear is basically the opposite of faith. And you cannot say that you have faith and you're afraid, okay? And somebody said that fear is so fear is the opposite of faith. Fear sees Goliath as too big to eat, while faith sees Goliath as too big to miss. He who fears to try will not know what it could achieve. Okay. So if you're afraid, I'll do it one day, I'll do it someday, I'll do it one day, you will not know what you have the potential of achieving. But because you're afraid, you don't even know what power that is inherent inside of you that you can actually achieve. In Matthew 25:25, he said, and I was afraid, and I went to heed the talent. There are so many things that God has given to us that because of fear, we actually went to hide. Okay, number 3 thing that can hinder us from achieving that creative potential that is inside of us is past failure. Okay, so there are so many goals that we have achieved that is actually hindering us from achieving more goals. That's the truth. Okay, so failure is not enough reason to stop trying, but sometimes success can make us to settle too early. Okay, it provides another opportunity to try again. After you have tried and failed, you stand a better chance of winning again. So Philippians chapter 3, verse 12 says that not that I have already attained, but I press towards the goal. Okay, so another thing that hinders us from reaching that potential that God has given to us is procrastination. I will do it one day, I'll do it someday, I will do it very soon. Is procrastination, right? Procrastination is the killer of destiny. Okay, procrastination means you make something happen at a later than the stipulated time. I'll do it. I'll start. I'll soon start very soon. It will soon happen. I'll attend to it. Okay. Procrastination actually kills. Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 4 says, he who observes the wind will not sow. The wind is too blowing. The light is too bright. Procrastination help you to manufacture excuses a lot. Okay. One day it will happen. The weather is not right. The chair is not comfortable. You are waiting for the right moment. There's really nothing like the right moment when it comes to you taking an action. Okay. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10 says, whatever your hand finds to do it. Okay. Do it. And by doing, you only get to the state of perfection by doing. You only get to the state of perfection by doing. You don't get to the state of perfection by hoping and wishing. You only get to the state of perfection by doing. John chapter 9, verse 4 says, I must do the work of he that sent me while there is time. But there's a time that will come that you will not be able to really do what you need to do. Other people's opinion. That's another thing. We are always thinking of what people will say, what people will think, what people will, thinking, connoting, conjoining things all together in our head does not really, really help us. Okay. Another um, thing that held us back is wrong association. Proverbs 13:20 says, he who walks with the wise shall be wise, and the company of fools shall be destroyed. Look for those that are creating at the realms of their thought. Those are the people that you should work with. That's why the Bible said, come, let us reason together. It said, as heaven is higher than the heart, so is my thought higher than your thought. To plug your thought into the realms of God, you must work with the people that are already plugging their realms into their thoughts into the realms of God. Okay? Very, very important. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, do not be deceived. Evil communication corrupts good habits. Do not be deceived. If you work with a liar, you become a liar. If you work with a thief, you become a thief. There is no gainsaying about that at all. If you work with a thief, you will become a thief. If you work with the wrong person, you will become the wrong person. Wrong association will kill dreams, will kill destiny, and it will bring strong motives and wrong desires. Okay, so tradition is limiting. It does not encourage innovation. That's number 7 way thing that can kill your potentials. Tradition will kill your motivation. Tradition will literally kill your motivation. Okay, um, the way things are being done, yes, but are there no new ways? Somebody said tradition are old beliefs, customs, and norms of others, right? Why don't you create new beliefs, new custom, and new norm for your own life? And lastly, but not the least, thing that can literally kill your destiny, kill your creative potential is success. The Bible says in the book of Isaiah 43 said, do not remember the former things, not consider the things of old, but I will do a new thing. Anytime you achieve something new, always remember there is another new thing. Even though you have just achieved something new, always remember that there is always something new. Okay? So, at this point, you need to believe that there's creativity in your mind. Pay attention to the way you think. Pay attention to what feeds your mind. And all these things that can kill your creativity, watch out for them. Okay? Read book, pick a book and read a book. Okay? Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye.